Hello, I am going to introduce briefly about JAXA Earth observation activities on COVID-19. First of all, I would like to express my sincere condolences to all the victims of COVID-19. Let me introduce by myself. My name is Osamu Ochiai, Associate Senior Engineer of JAXA, and I'm also serving a technical advisor MEXT-Japan. Some of you may know me. I have experienced more than 25 years to develop Earth observation system and information system. And I also spent 7 years in geosecretary so that I know what geo. And I'm also a sales lead on Global Earth Forest Observation Initiative, we call the GFOI, as one of geo flagship. Today, I'm going to provide what activity has happened in JAXA in terms of contribution to the COVID-19. As you may know, JAXA is a public space agency in Japan, and currently there are 6 Earth observation satellites operating in space. The objectives of these satellite missions are mainly for monitoring Earth's environment and climate, as well as disasters at global, regional, and local scales. Since the last months, during unprecedented situation of COVID-19, we had started to discuss what we can contribute to society by using our Earth observation satellites. Although most of the JAXA staffs have been working at home, we had very intensive discussion via online meetings. We understand that we cannot observe COVID-19 itself, of course, but we think that we may be able to observe from space any impacts of COVID-19 in the world. By using JAXA's Earth observation satellite, we may be able to monitor the change of CO2 and aerosols in atmosphere and social infrastructure and supply chain, ocean parameters, and so on. Subsequently, we identified our potential contribution. We have started to monitor these parameters. From the next slide, I will introduce 2 parameters that we are currently monitoring, particularly focusing on CO2 and aerosol. This is one of the examples of aerosol monitoring in Los Angeles as a major air quality parameter. We have used GCOM-C satellite as global climate observing mission for climate, in short, which onboard SGLI instrument as a second-generation global imager. The instrument can detect 19 wavelength bands of radiation from near ultraviolet to thermal infrared region, which yield various physical properties related to cloud, water, snow, ice, aerosol, sea, land, vegetation, so on and so forth. The spatial resolution is 250 meters, and observation source-wise is greater than 1,000 kilometers. The whole globe can be scanned approximately in every 2 days. You can see in comparison between average aerosol optical thickness we call the AOT in May 1 to 10th from 2018, 2019, and 2020, as you can see. The AOT in 2020 May, which has during the lockdown, can be seen less than other past 2 years. In seeing the result, we would like to jump in the conclusion that this is because of the lockdown, but you see the standard deviation is somewhat large. It would be hard to say from our side that the AOT would be really decreasing. The graph shows the monthly trend plot of AOT in 3 years. 2018 is black, 19 is blue, and 20 is red. This also shows that before lockdown, the trend of 3 years are not shown of significant change. After LA lockdown on March 19th, the result of the April and May are dropped from last 2 years. However, again, we cannot firmly say that this is the result of the lockdown, nor identify the origin of the effect. From satellite community ourselves, ground truth data is very important to validate. In order to validate these results from the satellite observation, we can firstly compare to ground-based meteorological data such as temperature, humidity, and wind direction. Then we can also compare to the information on change in factory utilization and in car traffic as a socio-economical data. GEO may be help to share such in situ meteorological and socio-economic data sets and provide any opportunities to validate the results from the satellite. This is another example as CO2 change detection. JAXA has a greenhouse gas observing satellite second generation we call the GOSAT-2 to observe atmospheric CO2, carbon monoxide, and methane. GOSAT and GOSAT-2 are global GHG monitoring satellites in support of the Paris Agreement with regard to supporting the national GHG inventory. Under the COVID-19 situation, it is typically expected that anthropogenic CO2 emission would be reduced in line with the human activity lockdown. The CO2 will be observed a certain unit of column concentration of atmosphere. Usually, atmospheric wind may be affected to deviate the value of CO2. Therefore, we divided atmospheric column into lower and upper troposphere. Then difference between lower troposphere and upper troposphere was derived so that more accurate anthropogenic emissions could be identified. In left-hand side, there are two charts up and down. Upper chart is February 2019, and down chart is February 2020. You can see that CO2 reduction has been identified in China and European region as red circle indicated. This timing is mostly coincident with when China and European were in the middle of spreading the virus and lockdown situation. In right-hand side, upper chart is March 2019, and down chart is March 2020. You can see that CO2 reduction has been identified in US and Middle East region. The timing is mostly coincident with virus has been spreading and in lockdown around US or maybe in Middle East areas. The results are, of course, very much interested in seeing more detail, but we, as space agency people, are not in the position to mention whether it is because of the COVID-19. We think it is necessary to engage with experts on socioeconomic in order further analyzing the societal impact and assessment. I think this would be a good opportunity in GEO for coordinating a new engagement in order to be effective narrative the Earth observation effect to society between EO community and socio-economic community. JAXA will certainly continue to monitor these parameters regularly day by day towards long term as long as the satellite operating. And also, we will share the data openly and freely via our website. We believe the strengths of Earth observation satellite datasets are for providing capability on global basis and regular monitoring. And also, Earth observation satellite datasets also able to come back in the past to provide the information on what has happened periodically. To extend the efforts in more international level, during the lockdown period in April and May, European Space Agency, NASA, and JAXA have discussed and quickly initiated collaborative activities that target COVID-19 impacts and recovery efforts by utilizing multiple Earth observation satellite data sets. The COVID-19 slowdown and recovery provide an unprecedented opportunity for assessing, refining, and improving tools for tracking and quantifying the impact of these activities on the environment, such as air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, water quality, agriculture, and economic impact on industry, port, and airport construction. There have been huge amount of efforts devoted by staffs in three space agencies in this short time period. The result will be under preparation and will be available to public around end of June. Also, some of you already know that we have organized an exciting event on May 30 to 31st. The Space Apps COVID-19 Challenge was global virtual hackathon held, which included about more than 15,000 registered participants from 150 countries that was organized. And 5 partner space agencies such as NASA, ESA, JAXA, CSA as a Canadian space agency, and CNES, French space agency, host 12 challenges with relevant space agency Earth observation data sets. The challenges covered 4 thematic areas. First one is virus and its spread. The second one is local response, change, and solutions. Third one is change in Earth system response. Fourth one is economic opportunity, impacts, and recovery during the and following COVID-19. And the result would be the participants used a custom online platform to form more than 2,000 teams and used 24 chat channels in 6 languages to engage with the teammates and subject matter experts. And participants submitted more than 1,400 projects that will be evaluated by the partner agencies. And judges will be from June and August in this year. Finally, global winners will be announced in early August. Winners invited to a lunch at the NASA site, travel permitting, and opportunity to incorporate projects into the Euro data tubes. So this is a very exciting opportunity of space agencies to work with experts in order to make a really a contribution to the COVID-19. So this is all my presentation. Again, I would like to stress the importance of the potentiality that Earth observation satellites could provide support for any level of decision-making processes. Thank you very much for listening.